Hello, and welcome. Timothy, he decided, no more weekend videos, so let's make our own weekend video, right? This one's about how they sabotaged his t-shirt. Let's take a look.
Please go there, become a member if you want to support the show. But I bring this up because we also have an area called Shop. And when you go to Shop, you can purchase this ever so lovely I Am a Gorilla t-shirt. Trust me, this is part of the story, and you're going to want to hear this. I'm about to show you an image. Most of you probably have already seen me tweet about it, because when I saw this, I was just like, I facepalmed. I'll admit, I'm a pretty chill person, so I was laughing. But I was like, still kind of worried at this. Someone ordered this shirt, one of the first shirts to go out, and this is what happened. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the sabotage of the I Am a Gorilla shirt. I am offended.
All right, well, here's the sabotage. Got some big differences here, huh? There's some big wowzers. Wow. Oh my goodness. But is it sabotage? Let's see how he explains it.
Mean anything? Well, here's the image I got. On the left, you can see the original artwork. On the right, you can see what was delivered to someone who ordered the shirt. For those that are listening, I said, yo, TeeSpring, you want to tell me why our cartoon gorilla shirt became an effing blackface drawing? How is this an accident? His hands were printed white and his face was darkened.
All right. Hands printed white, face darkened. Let's take a closer look at this image, actually. So here's the image as presented to us. This is right from the video. I didn't change anything. It's just in the player. We have gray. Let's say light gray, gray, dark gray. And black for the outline. Light gray, gray, dark gray. A little black in the ear. White teeth, light gray, gray, dark gray. So the one that was delivered here, we have light gray on the forearm, light gray on the chin, no black in the ear, no light gray where it should be here. The chest should be light gray, same color as the forearm, but it's not. And the gray and dark gray are much more so than what we see here. Also, the knuckles themselves were masked off perfectly, but the hand wasn't. Now he mentions, right, they painted the hands white. How did they manage to paint the hands white, right? And then darken the face? Well, gee, I don't know. Kind of looks to me like this gray here has been silk screened over all the rest of the gray, except for the portions that were masked off during that, they swipe it through. And there's also no black in the ear, which it's like, if they were going to sabotage you by making it look like blackface, wouldn't they have done all the pieces of the image correctly except for, the face? And it's the same color. Look at this color here, this here. It's the same color on the face there. Someone masked it off improperly, maybe because of this gradient. You can see there's a gradient here. Timmy, does it look like sabotage to you?
This is the crazy thing about it. A lot of people have suggested that this was some kind of printing error. It wasn't.
It looks like some sort of printing error. It was not. Okay. Well, the gradient is gone. It's much darker here. This looks like a prime example of a printing error. This is what happens when you don't mask things off properly. You end up getting this. They never did the hands. All the other color, including the ears, including the teeth. Actually, the teeth looks like it's the shadow of the teeth here is the same color as the knuckles here. So maybe the shadow of the teeth here, that's the base coat. That's underneath everything. That's why it appears here, because they never painted that. And it appears here because they never painted it. They didn't paint anything white. But was it sabotage?
I've talked with TeeSpring, and they're working on figuring out what happened, and it is definitely on their end, but not through their main company. What they told me is they believe this came from a third party that they outsourced to, and
So was this sabotage? Was that like a Pakistani Antifa member, or wherever these might be made?
look, I respect Teespring. I like them. I've sold shirts with them for a long time, and I have no issues with them. So I respect. They called me, and they were really apologetic, and they're like, "We really want to get to the bottom of this. We don't like being called racists." And I was like, "I don't want people walking around with Timcast IRL branding and this ridiculous image."
And I mean, before we even get to the point on if he was sabotage, don't you think they wouldn't even need to do this if they wanted to declare this racist? Like, would they even need to paint it wrong? If they want to call you something bad, they're gonna do it, Tim. It's okay. I don't think the Pakistani T-shirt company, maybe it was made in Taiwan, China, Indonesia, Malaysia. You know, they print a lot of T-shirts. You know, a lot of the world's denim supply comes out of Pakistan, which is why I picked them. They do a lot of clothing. They do very well in the clothing industry. Why would it have to be like someone trying to cancel your amazing YouTube channel? Like, it's not. I don't know, man. I think you saw this and got really worried for little to no reason.
Let me explain something. This is a picture of what looks like it looks like a minstrel costume, because the fists were
It doesn't look like a minstrel costume.
changed to be white. The face,
They weren't changed to be white. That's the base coat. You can see it elsewhere. Unless you think they were sabotaging the ears and the smile also.
is blackened, but you can see where the black on the face is. It doesn't reach all the way to the end of the face.
Because they didn't mask it off right. Even here in your video, I'm not even sourcing this from the tweet or anything. Just in the video that we're all watching together, I can see there is a darker gray here and then the black outline of the drawing. You still have retained that darker gray area. The light gray area, however, it wasn't masked off. But let's let him just bury himself a little bit more. It sounds ridiculous, Tim.
Kind of like blackface.
Kind of.
So some people said it was a printing error. I don't know how that would be a printing error, because you can see that there are certain colors that appear in certain areas and on other areas. How did they accidentally make the fists white and accidentally then make the face darker?
Because that's not how making t-shirts works. That's not what happened at all.
Not only
So you're right. Your theory is correct. That did not happen.
that, the color of shirt is gray. We don't offer that in the Teespring store. It seems like somebody.
The gray shirt, I mean, could you say that that's an accident? Or is that somehow, like, blue phobic? Do you think that was the real sabotage all along, was to put it on a gray shirt?
Purposefully altered the image and printed it on a shirt. Maybe. I don't know what happened. Maybe someone thought it was a joke and they printed it out for their friends and then it accidentally got shipped out. Or maybe someone intentionally wanted people to be walking around with a shirt that says Timcast IRL on it and depicts what looks like blackface, saying, "I'm a gorilla."
And I kind of have a problem with him even mentioning blackface on a gorilla. It's just a really dark gorilla, and they didn't paint the hands. Like, this doesn't look like racism. I don't see, like, a black minstrel show or something. I mean, I understand that your fear is people will paint it that way, but I'm kind of like, it's still a gorilla. It's just badly drawn. This doesn't look like, it's not like how Disney put crows in their movies or anything. It's not that insane. It's just like, I am a gorilla. That's a pretty bad drawing of a gorilla. That's what I would be upset about.
So, look, I ain't all that mad, okay? We all kind of laughed and we're like, what are you going to do about it? It's ridiculous. But the indignation you hear is because I think someone did it on purpose. And I don't think they did it because it was fun or funny. I think they did it because it would seriously hurt us. So when I saw this image get sent out, my initial reaction was, if this person didn't tell me and I didn't know and they didn't think of it, how long would it take until Media Matters or some leftist organization started saying that Tim Poule sells blackface shirts or whatever? It would.
Again, whoever made the shirt, there's a chance they don't speak English. There's a good chance that they don't care about you. There's a good chance that they were just mass producing t-shirts because that's their job, and mistakes were made. I mean, the more you look at it, right, it just looks like mistakes were made, because I don't see any alterations. I see printing errors.
Probably take 10 seconds. So I immediately tweeted, nah, none of that. You're not doing that on me. Not me. So then because of that, some people started photoshopping it and trying to sell it on other stores because you can't get it anymore. So I will tell you this. I talked to TeeSpring, and they said it's not going to happen again. And I was like, cool. But a lot of people may have ordered it, and it may have already been sent out. So there may be 1,000 of these shirts circulating around with altered art, and I had no idea. Maybe they didn't all come from the same printing facility, but look, I'm trying to be nice to TeeSpring. You know,
Yeah, don't drag Teespring. If anything, you should say that they have bad quality control, not that they're trying to sabotage you.
I understand they're a business. I understand they're scared of the accusations and cancel culture and all that stuff as well. But let me just make a few more points, and then we'll point out what they've done with Luke's shirts. And that suggests that, well, I don't want to abandon Teespring over what a rogue employee may have done, but
Rogue employee. Okay, nice.
I take issue with that, and I definitely think there's quality control issues. Because a few questions. Let's say it was an accident. Let's say it was a mistake. How did someone look at that and say, looks like the design the person ordered? Let's
It's because they didn't look at it.
send it to them. They didn't even stop and say, yeah, that's definitely not the art it's supposed to be. They sent out a clearly defective shirt. But come on, the darkened face and the white hands, this was done on purpose.
Tim, you sound like a crazy person. I mean, you're my best friend in the whole wide world, and everybody knows it, but you're sounding a little bit like it's just, I don't even see racism. I see a pretty well done gorilla. Whoever you had do this did a great job. Somebody screwed up on the silk screening, and you're sounding a little nutty, buddy. I would be upset too, but I would be more upset about the quality control, not that it depicts some sort of Jim Crow South racist thing.
In my opinion. So, look, I try to be careful, and I can understand the people who run Teespring are probably freaking out, and I feel bad for them. I do, because they didn't do this. Somebody did, somebody at the company or through the company did somehow. And so
It was probably someone not in this country who doesn't speak English, who does not care about racism.
I try to be nice. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. But I think moving forward, for at least the timcast.com store and for members, we'll probably print our own shirts and sell them manually, because then we can.
Which, in my opinion, is a severe overreaction to what has happened. Like, oh, you can never trust a t-shirt brand ever again because they, once you complain and say like, hey, you guys need to make sure that quality control is all right. That might be, it seems like a gross overreaction to be like, you know what? We make media and t-shirts and we print guns on like our plastic printer thing, whatever you call it. I mean, just I'm sure you can't do a better job than these people. And he goes on to say that, like, well, we're not going to actually make them. We're just going to ship them from here so we can look at every single one. Still, it's a huge overreaction. You want to hire 6 people to box up merch for you in-house? Okay.
Can guarantee this doesn't happen. Now, that being said, I'm sure there are a lot of people who actually really want one of these now because misprints end up becoming valuable or popular. And look, all that matters to me is I don't condone what the person did.
All right, well, that's the point at which I started falling asleep in the video. They started talking about Luke, how his t-shirt sales are plummeting, and I wish they would go a lot further. You keep getting banned. I want you to go back to the parking lot. I don't like you, Luke. I don't want you on my Timcast. But, I mean, I think we can say beyond a reasonable doubt that Tim is overreacting. It's kind of funny to see him overreact about stuff like this because he tends to be pretty reasonable on everything except when he gets a misprint on a t-shirt, in which case it's the Malaysian Antifa coming after him or some Pakistani left-wing extremist group. So, we can all have a little bit of a laugh. I'm sure if anyone ever comes up to him, he's like, hey man, don't you think that like the hands were primer gray and they just sort of messed up a little bit? Maybe they didn't do all that stuff you said. Maybe he'll be like, oh, absolutely. I am a big, silly person. But chances are that won't happen. It'll be funny if he says like, breaking news over the weekend, we got an email and there was a cell of Antifa inside the t-shirt design office. That would be hilarious. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I'm guessing the story dies with the podcast and we will never know whose fault was it and what were their intentions. How does he do his end cards? All right, next episode will be coming up sometime in the future. And I'll see you then. Fade to black.
She's a rainforest monster. Whatever. She lives in the swamp now.